beneath the opulent halls of the Vatican, whispers of ancient rituals, forbidden texts, and unsettling legends echo through time. You're about to uncover 20 of the creepiest secrets the Vatican has tried to keep hidden, and some are far darker than you might imagine. Let's start. The Bramante Staircase isn't just a staircase. It's a symbol of power, secrecy, and architectural brilliance that still stirs curiosity today. Built in 1505 by Donato Bramante, this spiral ramp was way ahead of its time. We're not talking about your average set of stairs here. This one forms a double helix design, like a giant stone corkscrew stretching nearly 20 feet in diameter. It allowed people and pack animals to ascend and descend without ever crossing paths. That's a level of design precision that's almost hard to believe for the 16th century. But here's what makes it strange: you can't visit it. Tourists usually see a newer version built in the 1930s, but the original Bramante Staircase? It's hidden deep within the Vatican and off-limits to the general public. Only select researchers and dignitaries are allowed in. So why the secrecy? Some believe the staircase wasn't just a functional passageway. It was a controlled route to the most sacred and private areas of the Apostolic Palace. Why do you think such a breathtaking piece of engineering is kept hidden from the public? What secrets might it be guarding? Comment and chat with me. Hidden deep within the Vatican's collection, some believe the Mandylion to be an ancient cloth that bears the face of Jesus. Yet, according to legend, it wasn't painted, drawn, or crafted by anyone. That's right. This image supposedly appeared miraculously, as if it were pressed straight from Christ's face onto the fabric. The story dates back to the 1st century. King Abgar of Edessa, in modern-day Turkey, was seriously ill. He sent a letter asking Jesus to heal him. According to tradition, Jesus responded and either wiped his face with a cloth or sent an image through a messenger. When it reached Edessa, the king recovered and the relic was hidden away for safekeeping. Fast forward a few centuries, and this relic vanishes and reappears throughout history. Some say it was transferred to Constantinople, then secretly moved to Rome, where the Vatican may have kept it under lock and key ever since. It's never been officially confirmed if the Mandylion is even still intact, or if it's the same relic connected to the more well-known Shroud of Turin. Could the Vatican be safeguarding one of the oldest relics in Christian history? Or is it just a powerful symbol shaped by faith and passed through time? The Mandylion of Edessa is said to hold the miraculous face of Jesus on cloth hidden away in the Vatican. Could this ancient relic be more than a symbol of faith? But if the Mandylion's mystery runs deep, what about the secrets whispered in the shadows of the Holy Grail? The Holy Grail, said to be the cup that caught Christ's blood, is one of history's greatest mysteries. Over the years, there have been murmurs that the Vatican might be guarding more than just sacred texts. Some believe it holds ancient manuscripts or coded maps that could lead directly to the Grail's location. Not out in the open, of course, but tucked away in the secret archives or even buried within the Vatican gardens, an area strictly off-limits to the general public. But that's just the beginning. Theories link the Vatican to secretive groups like the Knights Templar and the Priory of Sion, orders long rumored to have protected the Grail across centuries. If those connections are true, then the Vatican may not just be safeguarding clues, it may be part of a centuries-old effort to keep the Grail hidden from the world. Some researchers suggest the Church already found the Grail, possibly even centuries ago, but chose to keep it under wraps to preserve its power, both symbolic and spiritual. Before continuing, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, please hit the notification bell and subscribe. It helps this channel so much. And if you do that, I will do everything I can to make this show even better for you. Now, this one sounds like pure science fiction, except it's wrapped in robes, secrets, and Vatican corridors. It's called the Chronovisor, and according to legend, Father Pellegrino Ornetti, a Benedictine monk in the 1950s, claimed to have helped invent this machine to see through time. He claimed it could view, not travel to, events from the past and even the future, like a cosmic television tuned to history's timeline. Ornetti said he watched ancient Rome in real time, including the crucifixion of Jesus. He claimed to have built the device with help from top scientists, including Enrico Fermi. But then things get strange. Once his claims drew attention, all evidence disappeared, no photos or blueprints, and from the Vatican, complete silence. Some believe the Chronovisor was confiscated and hidden in the Vatican's most restricted archives. The idea is that if the device worked, it would challenge religious doctrine, global power, and historical truth, becoming the ultimate tool for discovery and control. Of course, skeptics dismiss the story as myth due to a lack of evidence, but others argue that the sudden silence and missing proof hint at a cover-up. Most visitors miss a small, hidden room deep inside the Vatican museums called the Cabinet of the Masks. Tucked behind the Pio Clementino Museum, it requires special permission to enter. This compact gallery holds a mosaic from Emperor Hadrian's villa and marble theatrical masks that have intrigued historians and art lovers for years. These masks may symbolize more than Roman theater. They might relate to rituals, mythology, or secret groups. The name hints at a place for rare and unusual items, common in Renaissance times. With its restricted access and mysterious purpose, the Cabinet of the Masks remains one of the Vatican's most curious secrets. The Veil of Veronica is a famous but mysterious Vatican relic. Tradition says Saint Veronica used this cloth to wipe Jesus' face on the way to the crucifixion, and his image was miraculously imprinted on it. The Vatican claims to keep the original veil, shown only on rare occasions, but other churches also claim to have it. This raises questions about how many veils exist and which, if any, are authentic. The veil at St. Peter's Basilica is faded and usually seen from a distance. Some experts view the story as symbolic, while others link the veil to the Shroud of Turin. Regardless, the Veil of Veronica remains one of the Vatican's most haunting mysteries. The Vatican's mystery isn't hidden in stone but points to the stars. It involves the so-called Lucifer telescope, which isn't a secret cult device but part of a collaboration with the Mount Graham International Observatory in Arizona. While the Vatican doesn't own the telescope, it funds research at the nearby Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope. Some believe the Church is quietly studying the possibility of alien life, fueled by the telescope's proximity to Lucifer, an instrument for observing distant galaxies in infrared light. Lucifer stands for Large Binocular Telescope Near-Infrared Utility with Camera and Integral Field Unit for Extragalactic Research. Despite its name, it is not linked to the devil. This connection has sparked curiosity about the Vatican's true goals in space exploration. Is the Church preparing for the discovery of extraterrestrial life? Or simply advancing science, like it did in Galileo's era? The Vatican's search for answers among the stars is real, and the next major revelation may come from the cosmos, not beneath St. Peter's Basilica. According to legend and whispers among religious scholars, the Vatican may possess scrolls or letters written in Aramaic, the language Jesus spoke. These aren't gospel accounts written by others, these would be his own words in his hand if they exist. Now officially, the Church has never confirmed the existence of such texts, but discoveries have reignited speculation. In 2024, researchers in Germany deciphered what may be one of the oldest records of Jesus' childhood, suggesting more ancient material might still be out there. Could the Vatican already have something even older and far more direct? The theory goes like this: early followers could have preserved these writings, and as Christianity grew, they were quietly absorbed into the Vatican's vast archives, hidden for protection or perhaps for control. If even one authentic document from Jesus were uncovered, it would send shock waves through theology, history, and global belief systems. Beneath St. Peter's Basilica, archaeologists have found ancient pagan temples over 2,000 years old. Before the basilica, the area was a Roman necropolis with tombs, shrines, and sanctuaries dedicated to gods like Mithras and Cybele. A mysterious underground basilica nearby has walls covered with symbols from ancient religious groups, featuring carvings and images different from Christian teachings. The early church may have built its monument here to transform or incorporate older beliefs. This site shows a mix of faiths that once shared the ground. Digging deeper reveals Roman altars, ritual spaces, and inscriptions older than Christianity. The Vatican appears as a spiritual transition, replacing earlier beliefs with a new faith. Some ancient practices might still exist, hidden beneath the church's marble and gold. The gallery of the busts in the Vatican museums features hundreds of ancient marble faces, mostly unlabeled. Located in the Pio Clementino Museum, these sculptures depict Roman emperors, philosophers, and warriors, but their stories remain unknown. This lack of identification creates mystery. Why are these figures left anonymous? Some busts look familiar, while others stare intensely or appear unusually well preserved for their age. One theory suggests some might be death masks, casts made from faces at the time of death, which would give the gallery a powerful historical significance. The Vatican may keep this collection unnamed, because some faces could belong to people whose identities are uncertain or not emphasized in official history. One of the most unique artifacts linked to church history is the Codex Gigas, sometimes called the Devil's Bible. This large medieval manuscript, about 3 feet tall and weighing over 160 pounds, contains the complete Latin Bible alongside medical texts, exorcism rituals, and an illustration of a devil figure. Though held currently in Sweden, the Codex has long been connected to church legends, with some rumors suggesting the Vatican has studied it privately. According to medieval stories, a monk who broke his vows wrote the book in a single night with the devil's help, but historians consider this a legend. The entire manuscript is in the same handwriting and ink, suggesting it was created over a long period rather than one night. The devil illustration shows a horned figure surrounded by buildings that resemble medieval churches. Some scholars interpret the image as a warning against evil or as a coded message within a religious text. Which Vatican secret shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think there's more they're hiding under those ancient floors? The Chiaramonti Museum in the Vatican Museums is a long gallery nearly 1,000 feet in length, housing over 1,000 ancient sculptures, many incomplete. The collection includes headless torsos, faceless busts, and sculptures missing limbs, quietly displayed. Many pieces date back to ancient Rome and Greece but lack names, context, or records. Despite this, the Vatican has preserved them, which suggests they could hold historical significance. Some scholars view the museum as more than a display, representing lost civilizations, past beliefs, and possibly hidden histories from before Christianity's rise in Rome. A few statues appear unusually well preserved compared to others. The arrangement of sculptures is unusual. They are grouped by expression, angry faces in one section, sad ones in another, and terrified ones clustered together. This may suggest an intentional organizing theme, though its meaning remains unclear. Some of the Vatican's most iconic artworks might contain more than just artistic skill. They could include subtle messages. Inside the Sistine Chapel, where Michelangelo painted the famous ceiling, some experts suggest he included hidden symbols alongside biblical stories. For example, in the creation of Adam, the shape around God resembles a human brain, possibly reflecting Michelangelo's interest in anatomy and a connection between divinity and human intellect. Raphael's The School of Athens, while celebrating philosophy with figures like Plato and Aristotle, is also thought by some to blend Christian and pagan ideas, hinting at complex influences in Renaissance art. These observations come from historians, artists, and neuroscientists who find new details in gestures and structures. Whether Michelangelo and Raphael intended to question the church or display their artistic genius is open to interpretation. Beyond Renaissance art, the Vatican contains symbols that do not directly align with Christian narratives. Ancient Egyptian obelisks stand in St. Peter's Square. Pagan gods appear on church facades, and astrological symbols are found in sacred spaces. The Vatican can be seen as a puzzle with interconnected layers of history and belief. Some theories propose that these symbols might have been used by groups within the church to communicate discreetly, passing along ideas that differ from mainstream Christian teachings. These remain hypotheses explored in academic and artistic studies. Beneath the marble floors of St. Peter's Basilica lies the Vatican Necropolis, an underground area about 32 feet below, largely inaccessible to most visitors. It is believed by some to be the final resting place of St. Peter and early Christian martyrs, though definitive proof remains uncertain. In the 1940s, Pope Pius VI authorized archaeological excavations that uncovered rows of ancient graves, early Christian graffiti on a red wall, and a niche thought to contain bones possibly linked to Peter. Access to the site is very restricted, and details of the findings are limited. Scholars have differing views, with some supporting the identification of the tomb, while others consider the evidence inconclusive. For example, the bones were found nearby, rather than directly beneath the altar, and radiocarbon dating places them in the 1st century, but does not conclusively attribute them. The restricted access may reflect the site's historical and religious significance rather than concealment. Excavation reports describe items such as coins, jewelry, and personal artifacts buried with the dead. Additionally, objects like pagan amulets, ritual items, and inscriptions in pre-Christian languages were found, illustrating the complex religious landscape during Christianity's early development in Rome. Some researchers suggest the Vatican necropolis provides insight into the diverse beliefs present during Christianity's beginnings, including competing faiths and suppressed texts. If so, the site represents an important historical record of religious transition rather than solely a saint's tomb. Vatican City houses a vast library known as the Vatican Apostolic Archives, containing over 53 miles of shelving. These archives hold more than 12 centuries of historical records, many of which are highly restricted. Among the documents are records about the Knights Templar trial, church communications during World War II, and various ancient texts. Access is limited to selected scholars, who can request specific files under strict conditions: no internet, no casual browsing, and no photography. While some speculate about what might remain hidden, such as documents related to early scientific discoveries, miracles, or historical events, these ideas remain unproven. The Vatican states that the archives preserve important historical documents and restrict access to protect and conserve these fragile materials. The archives also contain letters and official correspondence between popes and world leaders during significant historical moments. Researchers continue to study these to better understand the Church's role in global history. Subscribe now to join our journey through the Vatican's untold stories. You won't want to miss the next revelation. We'll now turn to a different topic: finances. While individuals can often detail their financial situations, understanding the Vatican's finances is more complex. As a sovereign city-state with a population of about 1,000 people, the Vatican operates its economy. The Vatican generates income and invests globally, including in private enterprises. It also receives donations from believers. However, the Vatican's financial operations have historically been less transparent than some might expect. The Vatican Bank, officially the Institute for the Works of Religion, has been involved in various financial controversies over the decades. For example, in the 1980s, the bank was linked to the collapse of Banco Ambrosiano, which involved multi-billion-dollar losses and the suspicious death of banker Roberto Calvi, found under London's Blackfriars Bridge. These events have been subject to extensive investigation and reporting. Beyond banking, the Vatican holds a significant real estate portfolio worldwide, including properties in major cities like London, Paris, and New York. Estimates of its total wealth vary, with some placing it in the billions of dollars. Much of this is held through shell companies, offshore accounts, and investments not fully disclosed publicly. Historically, the Church has collected donations from believers, including from those in less affluent circumstances. Some critics note that funds have been invested in industries such as arms manufacturing and pharmaceuticals, which have raised questions regarding alignment with the Church's moral teachings. The Lost Books of the Bible and the Forgotten Books of Eden are collections of translated texts that claim to include writings excluded from the current version of the Holy Bible. These texts are often discussed as alternative or apocryphal scriptures. Given the Vatican's central role in the history of the Catholic Church, such texts may be preserved in its archives for research or historical reference. While the significance of these writings is often debated, it's reasonable to assume they hold enough value to be kept for scholarly purposes. The Vatican values science, especially astronomy, because understanding celestial bodies helps accurately interpret biblical events. To support this, they built the Vatican Observatory, allowing many scientists access. Over time, multiple observatories have been established, including one outside the Vatican. Some researchers think the observatory is also secretly monitoring space for signs of extraterrestrial life, preparing for how such contact might affect religious beliefs. Recently, Vatican astronomers said discovering aliens wouldn't conflict with Catholic teaching and that they might even baptize them if asked. The Vatican works with observatories worldwide, including the controversial Lucifer telescope in Arizona, suggesting a focused search in space. Some conspiracy theories claim the Church has already contacted aliens and uses observatories to communicate with them. There are also claims that the Vatican Observatory monitors Earth itself, tracking political or military activities in individuals seen as threats. The Ark of the Covenant is one of the most famous religious artifacts in history, believed in the Bible to be a sacred container associated with God's presence. Some conspiracy theories claim that the Vatican might possess the Ark within its walls, but there is no verified evidence to support this. According to some speculative stories, the Ark was hidden before the Babylonian conquest and later passed through groups like the Knights Templar, who had historical ties to the Vatican. These theories suggest that treasures from the Templars, possibly including the Ark, were absorbed by the Church after the order's dissolution in the 14th century, although such claims remain unproven. Some have pointed to architectural features within the Vatican that allegedly match biblical descriptions of spaces designed to hold the Ark, along with anecdotal reports of unusual phenomena in these areas, but these remain unverified and speculative. The Vatican has neither confirmed nor denied such claims, and any silence on the topic should not be taken as proof. The idea that the Vatican holds the Ark symbolizes its spiritual authority in some theories, but this remains a matter of speculation rather than fact. The Vatileaks incident was a significant controversy that affected the Vatican's reputation and leadership. It involved the leak of many internal documents during a period of conflict within the Vatican. The leaked papers revealed alleged cases of corruption, including reports that some individuals paid for private meetings with the Pope. These revelations sparked a strong public reaction and calls for increased transparency. Beyond financial matters, the documents exposed internal power struggles among church officials, including accusations of blackmail and political conflicts among cardinals. The leaks also brought to light the Vatican's handling of sexual abuse scandals, showing that some church officials had relocated accused priests between parishes in attempts to manage the situation. The financial impact of these cover-ups was significant, involving donations from Catholics worldwide. Financial irregularities were also reported, with allegations that the Vatican Bank was involved in money laundering linked to various criminal groups. However, these claims have been subject to investigation and remain complex. There were suggestions in the leaked material that some Vatican officials might have been compromised by external entities, but the full details and extent of this remain unclear. Paolo Gabriele, who leaked the documents, was arrested and prosecuted. Some believe others inside the Vatican may have also been involved, though this has not been confirmed. That's all from the realm of the Vatican and the weird, dark, and very mysterious things that allegedly reside inside its walls. Which of these things do you feel is a very true part of the Vatican's history? And which do you feel are a bit misconstrued due to the public's perception of the place? Perhaps you know of another dark secret of the Vatican that was missed. Be sure to let me know all about it in the comments section down below. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.